Hey, what's going on, guys? EpicFilmCritics here, and welcome to another Epic video. Today we're going to be starting a new series called Top 5, where we do top 5 of various things. To basically kick it off, we thought we would do something that would definitely bring some varied opinions from people, and would definitely bring in... I mean, top 5 is always kind of opinions no matter what, but since the majority of our subscribers are big gamers, we thought we would kind of like kick it off with a gaming based top 5. So we are going to be doing top 5 for top 5 sad endings of all time in obviously video games. Now we don't mean like sad endings where you're like, oh shit, that sucks. We're talking about games that made you fucking cry. Or at least made you really fucking close to crying. Games that made you depressed. Games that ruined your fucking day. Shit like that. Like really, 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 really depressing game endings. You guys get the point.
Yes.
So, we were going to be starting with number 5.
Am I supposed to say it?
You go ahead.
Alright. Number 5 is Arkham City.
Batman Arkham City.
Well, I'm pretty sure they know.
Yeah, they probably know Arkham City, but... Alright, Batman Arkham City. Now, this, by the way, before we get started, this is going to have a crap ton of spoilers. We're basically going to be telling you what happens in the end and why it's so sad. So, if you don't... I mean, if you are going to play... If you haven't played a lot of games, if you haven't beat a lot of games, then get the fuck off.
No, don't leave.
Yeah, don't leave. Just, leave a like and comment. We're just joking. Oh, not really. But, yeah, I'm not. But, yeah, so, Batman Arkham City, number 5. Joker died at the end.
Yeah.
Now, being such... I don't know. At the time, when I first played Arkham City, that was a really weird thing. I never thought I would be so depressed that Joker was dead.
Yeah.
He was... But he was just one of those villains that you love. You know what I mean? Most villains, you're like, oh, god damn it, I hate that guy or whatever. Joker was so lovable.
Yeah.
He was...
Joker.
He was the Joker, yeah. If you look at, any kind of Batman type thing, the Joker will most likely be your favorite character.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight, Heath Ledger, the Joker, he was my favorite fucking character in the whole thing. He had the best acting performance. His lines were great. It was just awesome, and that's, to this day, my favorite Batman film. But yeah, so that was really, really depressing. I wasn't crying for that, but it was pretty depressing. But I will tell you which ones made me cry, because there's a couple in here. Number 1 and 2 maybe just fucking bawl my eyes out. So, number 4, Heavy Rain. All right, so those of you that have not played Heavy Rain, well, this is kind of an odd one, because there is how many endings are there?
I think there's 23.
There's 23 different ways that the game can end. But when you actually think about it, there's only about 3 or 4 ways that the game can actually end in a good way. And the rest are kind of...
Well, some can be, terrible, and others can be, alright, I can live with that.
Yeah, there's, 5 that are, you bawl your eyes out. There's another 5 that are happy. And then the rest are, I can, live with that. It's okay. So, we're speaking of... since the game can obviously end this way, I don't really see how it could end that way, because if you're really shitty at the game.
I've seen it like that.
I guess some people could try to get the worst ending.
I seen one guy, he just did a video of all the endings or whatever.
Yeah.
And, the saddest one was, everyone died.
Well, that's what I mean, though. He was intentionally trying to get, those endings.
Yeah.
So, it's not like he was playing the game through, a million times.
No, but, since there's different ways or whatever, he had, the worst ways of them to die, too.
Yeah. So, yeah, speaking of the worst way to die, we're going to assume that you guys know what we're talking about. So, the worst way to die, I'm trying to think of the worst ending. I know the worst ending possible. For those of you that don't know, the game bases around a guy called Ethan who tries to save his son from being kidnapped. Well, his son is kidnapped. He's going through these trials to get him back. So eventually in the game he gets framed for doing it. So I'm pretty sure the worst ending is he goes to prison.
Yeah.
He hangs himself, and then what also happens is that his son does not make it, and his son dies, and so the worst ending. All of the protagonists die because there's how many playable characters? There's a bunch of playable characters.
I think there's
five.
4 or 5.
4 or 5.
Well, like
there's
the one, it's not sad when he dies.
And you can basically control whether or not those playable characters live or die. So I mean, like the worst possible ending is when all of those characters die, which sucks ass. But for me, when I played through Heavy Rain, everyone lived, so I was pretty satisfied with it. Number 3.
Mafia 2, I believe it was.
Mafia 2.
Yes.
All right. Mafia 2. All right. Ooh. Yeah, okay. We're starting at the games that started to make me cry. From 3 now on to number 1. Number 3, Mafia 2, is, of course, exactly what it sounds like. Mafia-based game. Revolves around a mobster who you play as, and the story revolves around you and his best friend, Joe Barbaro. So in the end, Joe dies.
Well, we don't know if he died.
You're almost 99% sure that he died.
Yeah, well,
like know that there's no way he could have gotten out of there.
He could have became Rambo all of a sudden.
Still, he was in a car with like 6 guys, by himself, with no weapons.
No, he had his gun.
But still, all those other guys had Tommy guns and shit. He had like a pistol on him.
Right.
Like he would have been screwed. Like, and plus, yeah.
Well, I don't think
you assume he's dead. We're assuming that he's dead. I mean, no one thinks that he's alive.
I do.
The developers implied that he was dead. Yeah, they
That's
did.
nice.
In Game Informer, they implied that he was dead. Okay. So you assume he's dead. So assuming he's dead, that is one of the saddest fucking things ever.
Yeah.
Because Joe was the life and soul of the game.
Hilarious guy.
Very funny. All of the best crack-up lines. I mean, there's actually a video. There's a top 5 on IGN of top 5 Joe Barbaro lines.
Yeah.
And he is so funny. Like his lines, like I said, it's just make the soul of the game. It makes the game enjoyable to play for everybody. I mean, like it makes you laugh. I mean, because being a game that's so serious and so being like a game like based around criminals and a game that's so serious with such a strong plot, you need to have a really really funny character like that to like keep the game like enjoyable. I mean, it was a great game. That's one of my favorite games ever made. But Joe just made things like come to life for me. I mean, that's just me. Like he was like the heart and soul.
My favorite character.
Yeah, by far my favorite character. That's what made it so difficult. In the end, you assume he's dead. Very painfully too, as they took him to a fucking slaughterhouse.
No, that wasn't Joe, wasn't it? Like,
yeah,
wasn't that?
He was in the car, and they turned into the place where Joe went to go get balls and beans. Remember that?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I don't remember him going there though. I thought they went out to like just away from the other car, so Vito wouldn't.
No, like they like turned like into the slaughterhouse. I'll show you this after the video.
All right.
Yeah. Like I'll show you it after. All right, number 2. What is number 2? Number 2. Red Dead Redemption. Thank you, Birdie. Red Dead Redemption. All right. I know quite a few people who have not beaten it yet, so we're about to spoil it. So leave right now. Red Dead Redemption.
Skip like.
Or to skip a couple minutes. Yeah. Red Dead. John Marston dies. The main protagonist. You know, it was really, really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because you got to know him very, very well. You got to know his family very, very well. You played through him through a very, very long course of a plot.
Yeah.
And of course, Rockstar, they always find a way to make you emotional. Excuse me. So Red Dead, John Marston dies. Well, he gets his family out of the barn where he is. So he saves his family's lives, and he walks out, and the way he dies is so depressing. He just walks out of the barn and gets blasted, like, ridiculous amount of shots.
Probably at least, like, 60 times.
Like, he walks out, and there is, like, a firing range of people with, like, rifles, and they just blast the shit out of him. And it pisses you off, too, because the guys who did it, weren't supposed to do that. Like he was supposed to be like let go. He wasn't supposed to be. All right, so very very quick summary of the plot. He was like an ex-criminal and he was in like he rode a gang or whatever, and so by the way, it's in like the Old West. So like he rode in a gang, and basically to repay his debt of the things that he did within the gang, he worked with cops to basically catch the remaining members of his gang because they're still like doing like criminal acts. So when he's done repaying the debt to the police, the cops come back to his house and they fucking kill him. And I think there was like a good moral like to that ending. Like you always like have to like pay for your mistakes.
No, not if you get away.
Not if you get away, but your past always catches up with you. I think that's that's a better moral. Your past always catches up with you no matter what. You know, he was trying to make like a better life for his family, you know, because he hadn't seen his son in like a really long time.
No, he just hadn't seen his son because the cops they had him in the prison or whatever until he were to kill Dutch.
Still, he hadn't seen his long. Like, I mean, his.
It was like over like the course of like a few months.
Still, they made it seem like he hadn't seen him in years. Like that's just like how it seemed. So I mean, well, whatever. It doesn't really matter. The point is, you know, he was trying to do the right thing, and he ended up just getting blasted in the end. So I cried to that ending.
I didn't.
Because you're a fucking crazy bastard. It's so depressing.
Crazy.
It's I don't know. It was just such a depressing thing. Like it was so bad because I don't know. And you feel like so bad for his family too. But just along with that, number 1, the finale.
The Walking Dead by Telltale.
The Telltale Walking Dead. Once again, I know a lot of people who just started playing it.
What?
Yeah. So if you don't want to be spoiled, go away right now. Because we don't want to be, like, we're not spoilers. Like, we don't want to be the spoilers for anybody. So, we're warning you right now. If you get spoiled, don't blame us.
Yeah.
So, Lee dies.
Well, basically, everyone except for Clementine is assumed dead, basically.
I'm at tear in my eye right now. It was so depressing. All right. The Walking Dead, like, I'm just going to briefly talk about The Walking Dead. We're going to be this is going to be a big chunk of the video. We're going to be talking about this game. The Walking Dead Telltale series is the best and most character-driven game I've ever played in my life.
Yeah.
By miles. The entire game, the entire game revolves around backstory and you getting to know characters and getting to build relationships with all of the characters.
Yeah. Just to have it all destroyed.
And just to have them die.
Yeah.
And it's terrible. It's a terrible feeling. You know, again, we're going to be spoiling it again. Kenny dies.
Yeah. Well,
we
don't know.
You heard him die. Like, you heard him. Well, you know he got bitten.
No, because he could have gone through the sewer. And plus there was
but you heard him go like, get off me. Like, you heard him like,
well,
and he stopped shooting too.
Depends on the ending that you chose. Like, if you brought Ben with you, Ben falls off a roof and he lands on a spike. Like, not a spike, but like a pole or something like that. And then Kenny goes down to help him, and there's like a sewer down there. And
you assume he's dead.
A bunch of people think he's alive though.
Still. There's mixed opinions on that, but I think he's dead. So, I mean, just when that happened.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he died eventually. Like, he couldn't have fucking lived on his own. Like, there's no way. Especially in his fucking condition. Like, there's no way.
In his condition.
Well, I mean, he was, well, at that point, he was fucking crazy. Like, he probably would have fucking, he probably would have fucking killed himself. Like, if you guys don't know, spoilers, his whole family died. His son was bitten, and his wife fucking committed suicide. So basically, the remainder of the game, he was insane. Like, he was, I mean,
kind of insane.
I don't want to say he was insane, but he had no reason to live.
I think he was just angry. Because that only went, the rest of the game, once they died, only went on for, maybe a week at the top.
Like, what episode is, episode 3?
Yeah.
His family died.
At, the very end, though, they die. So, and plus they still get into Savannah, within, that.
What I was happy about, though, is that he died in the last, hour of the game.
Yeah.
Like, that was the good part for me. Like, he went out fighting. he went out in like the last point of the game. I was just thinking. I actually want to pose out a question to people who, I know we're going completely off topic, but I mean the point is to talk about like The Walking Dead, like right now. So we're talking about The Walking Dead Telltale. I want to pose out a question to people and to you, Birdie, as well, and to myself. What do you think happened to Clementine?
Well, like if you watched that,
Because like think about it.
thing.
Think about it. Hamid and Krista. Again, if you haven't seen, you probably have no idea what we're fucking talking about, so you may as well stop watching.
Yeah.
For those of you that have actually played, you're going to love this fucking part. Hamid and Krista were really far away. Like, they went to the train tracks. Like, that was far. Because, like...
It wasn't too far.
And you told Clementine to go to the fucking train tracks. Like, that's what I did anyway.
You could tell her to go other places.
Still, I mean, like, either way, no matter where you told her to go, it would have been a fair distance.
Yeah.
And she would have had to go by herself. That would have been really tough. I mean, like... if a walker got on her, she would have been screwed.
They didn't go near
Right.
because of all the
blood,
guts.
Yeah. Still, I'm just saying, like, and even like in the situation, like, do you remember when like Lee was about to die and that one walker like chased her?
What?
Like when like when like Lee was like remember when like she got like when the thing like fell on it?
Yeah.
If
that only happened because she broke the glass and he knew that none of the other zombies. Like, it's pretty obvious.
If that thing wasn't there, though, then that wouldn't have happened, probably.
What thing?
Wait, I'm just talking like a dumbass now, because it hit Lee. It had, like, nothing to do with the zombies. Sorry, I'm just fucking, like, rambling on at this point.
You're talking about what?
I'm talking about the glass thing that fell, but it hit Lee, so that had nothing to do with anything.
No, I meant, like, to get in that room, you know how she had to break that glass with a bat?
Yeah,
yeah, that's the only reason why the zombie knew that she was human. Like, no other zombies pick up bats.
Still, there's going to be other situations where she has to break glass windows.
Yes.
Still,
not if she is.
If Lee wasn't there to throw her the bat, she would have been dead.
Possibly.
Yeah, she had nothing else to fucking like hit it with.
She probably.
She was like running away at that point. Yeah, but I don't know. Again, we're just fucking rambling on at this point. But what happened? So, like I said, the whole game you gain very, very, very strong relationships with these characters. You become friends with these characters.
Yes, you do.
At least some of them. But I mean, by the end of the game, you were friends with like the remaining people. You know,
most part.
Like Lily's gone, Larry's gone. The two people who I hated the most. I liked everybody else, but them.
I thought you didn't like Ben.
I liked Ben. Well, I liked Ben before he fucking got Carly killed. But I still thought he was. I mean, I liked him because he was a nice guy, good to Clementine, shit like that. But he was just a fucking idiot.
I guess.
He got a lot of people killed. But it was pretty brave what he did, though, like at the end. Still. But yeah. So, these relationships make... I mean, like, just want to give a bravo to fucking Telltale. They made a hell of a game.
Yeah.
Hell of a series, and that really, like emotionally, like, did a lot of things. Like, to make it, like, such an amazing game. But yeah, so Lee dies in the end, and Clementine goes off on her own. And again, Clementine and Lee was like the strongest bonded relationship, like in that game. Like honestly, like it sounds so dumb, but if you've ever played this game, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You'll know exactly what I mean.
You felt like it was real life.
Well, that too, but I thought of Clementine as like my own fucking like kid. You know what I mean? Like at that point, you played through so long,
yeah.
And you gained such a strong bonded relationship with her. Like I thought of her, you know, like I felt of her as like my own kid, you know, like I felt that it was my duty to fucking protect her, even though it was a game. But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
the relationships are so strong, you gain very, very strong feelings for the characters. So when Lee died, it was the most depressing thing ever. I cried. I did. Have to admit that. I'm sure, yeah, most people did. But yeah. So very depressing. That is the top 5 saddest game endings of all time. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys, I'd actually love to see what you guys think of your like your top 5. If you have your own top 5, please put in the comments. I'd be very curious to see. We'd be very curious to see what your top 5 saddest games of all time are. It's been Epic Film Critics. Peace out, guys.
See you.
Okay, now watch. Okay. I'll tell you when.